Hello and welcome to Geekatplay Studio Tutorials. In this tutorial we'll look on a filter forge. Will be more as a beginner intermediate level, and what we're going to do, we're going to look how we can modify this image with filter forge to something more artsy look like this. And this is an image, I took on a Canon 5D, and it's kind of very high resolution. If you're using Filter Forge 64-bit edition, that will handle just fine with this size of image. However, if you're using 32-bit, I do recommend resize a little bit smaller. As well, the resized image will take much less time to render. For this tutorial, I'm going to resize, make it smaller, so it will process a little bit faster, and we'll apply some modification. First, let's look on the image. This is when we're going close up, you can see how high resolution for this image we have it. So, but what I'm going to do right now, it is increase little bit sharpness before we are going inside Filter Forge. This will help us to define a little bit better edges. So we'll go inside the filter, we'll go sharpener, and we'll go to unsharp mask. For this size of the image, you can preview right here. Okay, we have it some recommendation. We can have it the radius set something maybe between 1.5, which is a little bit more finer, and up to 2 pixels age define. As normal for this size, I'll say about 1.8. And here, if we're going all the way, you can see we have a sharper image, but we start having distortions right here on the edge. Okay, so probably best about 130, 120, 150 around this area. Let's click OK. We kind of sharpen. Next, I'm going to resize. Notice I did it sharpener on sharp mask before I resize it. On that case, when we resize, it will remove some artifacts on the edge. Okay, we'll go to image size, and again, normally I can process this resolution, but for this tutorial, I'm just going to set 1024. It will be quite a bit smaller image, even smaller from this. And this is original resolution, and you can see how high it is. Okay, so we reduce resolution. And then next we'll go to and Filter Forge. Filter Forge, if you're using applications, also for Filter Forge 2, you can run from inside the Photoshop as filters. So let's open this and launch our application. Okay, so right here we have our application. Let me maximize size. If you have any filter, like for example this filter I used to work before, it's overlay, so your image still be on a background. And what we're going to do inside creative, let's click on this section. Inside the creative, we have a large selection of the all possible. What I'm going to do is using Sketchy Paint. Okay, if you look right here, we start loading. We start missing some details, and this is predefined kind of preset color, and you can go browse through some of them. Okay, so then you can see different with nice coloring or a sharpness. For our tutorial, I'm going to use the default preset. Next, what we're going to do in going inside the settings tab, and inside our tab, we're going to modify a couple things, and we'll look on them. You can see right here we have quite a bit control over, and all this control is depend on after who created a filter, which one he think it's kind of needed for user to provide. However, you don't need to modify all of them to work, but the one problem is because it's each unique after have their own description names, sometimes they vary depend from one filter to another. For example, in this filter, they kind of very nicely defined, so you can look on this. But couple things, one point, mostly it's in this section. This is an independent, and this will assign directly from Filter Forge, so you will have it in everyone, which is a size pixels. It's what we can do. It will reduce size pixel for all filter that applied, and variation will reset a random seed when it's generating any of the random functions. So right now you can see it's 683, and it's take resolution of our height for image. So let's go say if we set to 300, you can see at this point the resolution will start changing and we'll have more details in our image. This is one way to do. Okay, so let me, that will be applied a little bit better. And again, when we start render inside, you'll see different. And I can see right here, this point, it's changing and it's add a little bit. We have more details in ours. Again, if you have it higher resolution image, the also details will affect as well. So you can have it two ways. One, by providing high resolution image, or second, if you run on 32-bit or with less memory, you can resize and going ahead inside decrease size pixels. Okay, on this we have a different type of repeat again, and if you're going change, you can apply it and see which one will apply more. We're going with number 3, so it's add a little bit more curl for us. Again, this is preset. If you have a question what each of them does and you're using pro version of Filter Forge, you can go inside the filter editor and see how the nodes connecting and what they applied. But again, for this level, we'll just go ahead and modify only presettings with this filter. Okay, and next, one thing what we want to modify, it is look on some highlights density and shadow density. Again, by increasing them, you can see how they will affect. Again, in this filter, it's take a little bit longer time, but mostly you can see it's increased a little bit more on the shadows, and it's I want to add depth, so I'm going to increase shadows. We have our highlights a little bit higher. I want pop up a little bit on details. Brightness and contrast, I think this is a good level, so we'll leave it alone. I want to add a little bit more details, and reason is why, again, because this is a little bit lower resolution image, so we'll just want to add a little bit more nice points, details to this. Okay. Let's also increase details on shadow and highlights, and vibrance just as well, pop up slightly up. It will give us more vibrant colors to our image. Kind of will bring all those levels. Again, if you want to create a more pastel type painting, you probably want to take at these saturations and vibrance and go down a little bit more. Okay, brush curves will add us nice squiggling on this, so we'll go ahead, increase slightly, and take scale and just put a little bit below. As well, drop on brush hardness and scale. This will add some smoothness a little bit to our strokes, as well add a little bit more this kind of twisting effect. Again, this is all the settings and apply only to these specific filters, and it's what create by after who create filter, it's set by these. Okay, let's go next, and bottom right here we have it gain blue, green, and also we have it gain red just a little bit above these ones. This will allow us to balance our image. So for example, I want to take red just a little bit notch down. I think this is a little bit too overwhelmed, and maybe bring blue a little bit up and green slightly down, so a little bit move more towards colder colors of our image. Again, I take a second to render, and you can see right here we have progress going, which will depend again on the speed of your computer and complexity of the filters you're using. This is maybe a little bit too high saturation and vibration of color, so let's go take down 65 and see. I think this is a little bit overwhelmed on the red in this area, but again, this is all up to art. And one thing I like it is really you can use your talent or your perception and view in a way you want to modify. So right here we apply this filter. Okay, next when we're done, and again you can spend quite a bit time by going around and work with all possible settings, and it's kind of achieve very interesting result with this. When we're done, let's go click apply, and right here you can see we applied a filter to our image. And if we compare with some original, what I did before, you can notice some small changing. I applied the vibrance is down and some other colors, but overall you can customize your image in a way you want it. Again, after when you apply one filter, you also can go back again. Let's go example to filter forge, launch again in the filter. At this point, you can go to your image and apply any additional filters if you want it. Or for example, in our case, I can go inside and select frames from the film frame settings and apply darker frame if I want kind of concentrate and accentuate, or also other things where I like it. It sometimes apply watercolor filter. Let's do a couple things for this filter. One, I want to decrease frame width. We want increase a little bit roughness. It's add to the edges so we can match our roughness of our image. Okay, let's see, maybe a little bit square corners. Okay, let's look also slightly smooth roughness and frame. So it's kind of you start playing with the settings for this filter. Again, notice right here it says 683. It's our height of our image, and I want just leave to this because the resolution is about right. Okay, and right here again, let's see if we can just slightly make rounder corners. Again, it's up to yours. When you're done, you can go ahead, apply this filter. Okay, and right here we have our image with edited borders. So, and again, you can go over and over. One suggestions when you're done, if you want to add a little bit harder, more painting look, you can go again to the filter, sharpen and unsharp mask, and you can add a little bit more, maybe about 1.5 around this one, extra sharpener to your image. So in this case, you can see you can apply a little bit harder painting effect, so it's kind of add more the strokes type brushes look on this. On that case, if you're going to print, this is actually produce more illustration effect with the additional sharpener applied. But again, just for the screen, this will work excellent. Okay, thank you for watching this tutorial from Geekatplay Studio. Please remember, visit us on the web is www.geekatplay.com.